let's dive into the chat, okay, into the chat. And I know today's going to be so beautiful because yes, we have many beautiful things to catch up with. We have many beautiful things to catch up with. And what's the first thing I want to show us? So the first thing I want to show us is oil. That's the US oil. We spoke about this the last time we had our live analysis section, and yes, we are going to be speaking about it again today. And why? Why? Because yes, we actually anticipated, we actually speculated, and yes, it's beautiful and it's a good news to let you know that it's actually going the way we speculated, right exactly in our direction. Okay. And I want to share a confession here. Don't mind me sharing this. Okay, so our videos. I know we've been taking a track record of it, but I didn't even know we are even the game was even up more than I expected. So I didn't know that all of our videos, I knew because of course I record them and I send them to, the representative, the people in charge, but I didn't know we have it all on YouTube. And it's beautiful to see that, okay, we are not just coming here to just come and talk and go. So yes, if you miss it, you can go back to the YouTube, to be able to take one or two things again, and you can be able to fall back into the videos and all. And even apart from that, it also serves as a track record. So with that, we can proudly say that yes, we called out these, and we are not just saying this because we are presently live. You can say go back to go and check, like go to maybe the second week in the month of September, go to the second week in the month of August. So we can proudly say these things now because yes, we are taking a record of these things, and we have a good track record. So I think that's my confession, and it's beautiful to know that we are not just saying things and they are just like it goes south, it goes west, you can be able to track these things. Go back and see them for yourself. Yes, we spoke about oil. I can't really place it if it was Thursday last week or Tuesday, because of course we have this live analysis section every Tuesday and every Thursday, 1 p.m. We have it every Tuesday and every Thursday. So you can go back to YouTube to go and check, and you see. It's not like we predicted or we speculated this to go to the top, and I'm coming to tell you that we speculated it to go to the downside. And of course, another way we can even be sure about is that yes, people that joined it could be definitely vivid witness to these things we say. So you all are welcome again. And I just want to show us something on US oil before I go to some of the pairs I asked on Thursday while we were on the live analysis. I actually asked the members who were online. Okay, Mr. Hostin, thank you so much, sir. I can see you are helping us invite people. Let me just quickly check. Mr. Hostin, special shout out to you. You are with us. Okay, beautiful. Thank you so much, sir. Okay, so let me continue with this. So, I was talking. So on Thursday, I asked, everybody to just drop what they would like me to talk about. And numbers of people dropped some currency pairs, which are, AU, NU, and GU. And I'll be talking about that briefly. But before I talk about that, I just really want to touch some of the pairs we spoke about, on Thursday, and see how they are faring, and to see, what are the further anticipation to them and all like that. Okay. So stay tuned, and don't even go anywhere, and make sure your eyes are glued to my screen as you patiently listen and as you patiently follow. So yes, this is US oil, and US oil, I told us how it has been buying. It has been buying, and it's been on uptrend. Okay, I showed us this on Thursday. I'm not going to take too much time on US oil. I'm going to talk about the recent move. So from down here, that's from May 2020. We've seen how US oil had moved to the upside, and I tell us that I draw my support and area, support and resistance, levels, as I draw them as zones and area. So you see how it has been able to move from zone to zone, from zone to zone, from zone to zone, from zone to zone, and that. And so we see it drop back into this base, and you would remember that I told you that this present base is a 50 and a 61 feet from this recent high to from this recent low rather to this recent high. Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Austin. I can see so much you're helping us to. Thank you so much. but many special shout out to you, sir. Okay, so so that I don't get too much distracted. So now, it came back to this base, and we expect that yes, it just came to as a retracement into the fib level, and after this, it should, we saw it clearly that it should be heading to the upside. And you notice that on this fib level, that's this, this support zone, you would see that it formed it came in and formed a pattern. This is a bullish reversal pattern that is reversing back to the upside, and you see it. You can also call this, probably evening star or whatsoever, a morning star rather. And that's the bearish candle to the base. We had a little candle to the following, and we have a very bullish candle coming next after it. So on the weekly, we also saw some consolidation before the major break to the upside. We saw some consolidation for numbers of days, not even days, like numbers of weeks and months. We saw consolidation within this bar before it broke to the upside. And when it broke to the upside, we are sure that okay, don't let me say we are sure. We speculated that US oil should come back into this base. Yes, we are very sure. Why am I saying sure? Okay, yes, we are quite sure that US oil should be buying, because of course by the past price action we can see that US oil move from it moves from zone to zone. By price actions we can see that US oil move from zone to zone. So you know that the overall next target for US oil should be none other than 109 or around 108 to 110. That's US oil per barrel, so US dollar per barrel rather. And we speculate that it should come back to this base first, this support zone, and that's also going to be a touch on the trend line. And we took the trend line, that's on the let me go to the daily to make things clearer and better for us. Okay, I'm trying to check my time and make sure that we are managing the time properly today. And yes, this is on the daily. This is the lowest swing low, and you would see that we draw a trend line, the guiding trend line, and you see this is the first impulse movement, came again for the second one. You had the second touch here, and we are expecting a third touch. And I don't know if you know, but I think I've said it here many times, that the third touch on the trend line is the most beautiful of the impulse movement of a trend. So we are anticipating this touch, because we know that immediately it gets to this touch, we would be enjoying the ride to the upside. And on coming to this touch, we also mean that it is coming to also come into this base. That is the support zone. And also coming there, we also drew our support. We also drew our Fibonacci. It also means that it's coming into a Fibonacci area. That is the 50. That's the most significant Fibonacci area. That is the 50 to the 61 Fibonacci area. Please follow me closely so that you don't miss out on what I'm saying. Oh, somebody's saying, I don't want to talk about this now. I can see the comment, but I choose not to talk about it now. Oh, somebody wants to make me laugh and distracted. I choose not to be distracted. Okay. So I'm coming back to that comment. So Mr. Magic Mask, make sure you don't go anywhere. I'm coming back to that comment. Okay, so we expect that it's going to come back into this support and into this base, and also that it's going to give us a touch into this trend line, and it's going to push the upside. And you would see that on Thursday, yes, I think it's on Thursday if I'm not mistaken. We said, yes, I could remember, it was this bullish engulfing candle that was forming, and I said wait for it to come into this area. And when you see a pattern, I tell that you should go to the 15 minutes. When you see a pattern and you see it engulf, so even on both 15 minutes and on the 4 hours, yes, it engulfed. You see the 4 hours here engulfed it down, and from then it has been selling. So don't let this be a distraction. Okay, don't let this be a distraction. That is how it's talking presently at this base. Don't let this be a distraction. I anticipate and speculate that it's going to break this. And of course, when it breaks this, you can be 100% sure. If you have not joined this this trade, wait for it to break. I'm giving us a new trade entry on this. Wait for it to break to the downside, and if it clears this this support area, this mini support area, then it's all fine and good to the downside, and you can enjoy US oil and grab some pips either on your challenge account or on your funded account. Sorry, please. So that's that on US. Sorry. So I'm going, straight away to deleting this. I'm going straight away. Which one did I go to? Let me talk about US 30. I'm talking about US 30 so briefly, because we've spoke about this for a while. US 32, I told us that it's buying rather, and it's buying from zone to zone. This is the whole price action from US 30, and this is from 2020. And like what the broker I'm using here, that's Black Bull, what they are presenting for us, the whole of the past price has been from 2020. And you can see how it's been buying from zone to zone. And let me show you what's on the weekly. Why I tell us why I like to come to the higher time frame is because it makes you see things on the bigger way. And I know if they are going to ask questions on everybody following me presently and that, do you like the bigger things or do you like the smaller things? Okay. I don't want to ask that question because I don't want it to take much of our time. So nobody's going to say the smaller things. Of course, everybody do like the bigger things. So we want to see the bigger way so that it can give us the bigger things. Okay, yes, we want to see the bigger way so that it can give us the bigger things. So of course we've seen buying from zone to zone from here, but to the next zone, broke it to the next zone, and came back again to the next zone. And of course, it was giving a touch on what's on the trend line, gave it first movement, second, third, and now it's looking like it has broken the trend line. But no, I am not going to say that until I see out to this count. Let me go to daily because I don't want to waste much time on US 30. So now presently, it's just talking in between this what we call the seemingly W pattern here, and it's properly it's like it's seated. That you would imagine a new a mother who just gave birth to a newborn baby, and after some months, a newborn baby can't sit so well. Can't sit so well immediately after being given birth. So it will take months and years. So you would imagine that on the newborn baby, not newborn baby now, on the baby being able to sit down, there are times that the baby can't not be able to sit well, and the baby will also come into a time that the baby can sit so well that the mother can be able to, the mother is so sure that, okay, my baby sits well now, I can be able to do one or other things. And it's different from those times that you need to use a pillow, you need to use the chair's pillow to actually guide the baby. Now, what US 30, the vibe US 30 is giving us now that I'm sitting properly. Now, US 30 is sitting properly. That's giving us the first leg as a retest. Now, the second leg is now sitting properly. I could have adjusted this, but I don't want to adjust it because I don't just want to make things complex. But yes, it's still within this support zone. And all of these things, is just to make people feel like, yes, I've broken to the downside. I am not saying that US 30, cannot sell, but I am still saying that I am not convinced about the sell at all. Until we see, how the market closes today. If we see a big bearish candle to the downside, okay, yes, can I say, okay, just stay off US 30. But look out for how US 30 closed today. Look at the way the daily candle closed yesterday, and it almost looked like a big pin bar, and it's like, okay, something wants to happen within this area. So I will not be surprised to see it rally back to the upside here, and we are going to begin to see, a bullish reversal pattern to the upside. So if US 30 buy pattern has not been imminent so far, I can proudly say that it is imminent. It's going to be imminent based on how today's candle close. So if today's candle close to the downside on a very good bearish, candle to the downside, then we are not interested, because I don't think anybody should have any interest in selling US 30. And I'm not saying you cannot sell, but on the overall movement, because you see that most times I come here, I'm not coming to let us do some 1 minute trade. I'm not trying to say those things, but what I believe, and of course what I've tell people, is that you have to be very patient when it comes to the FX market, and it's not what you can just come in. It's not what you can beat by luck. You would imagine that you come into the game and you're able to do 8% one day, but the question is, can you replicate the 8% every day? So you have to have a pattern. You have to have a strategy that can guarantee you results. over time that can be sustainable enough. Because as much as you want to trade the market, you also want to get enough sleep. You don't want to be addicted to your screen, and you want to make sure that you are able to do other things of your life. So one of the ways you can also undo that is by being able to being patient and being disciplined. So in being patient and being disciplined, we mean that you are not addicted to it, and you can take trade and leave off the screen and let it run for as long as possible. And when you are coming again, you are seeing, oh wow, I've been able to do this, and it's been able to go into my direction. So I expect that US30 close back into this upside, and I expect we see a major bullish reversal pattern to the upside, and it starts buying back. Okay, so people ask me to speak about AU and NU and GU. So let me go directly to them. I'm going to be taking AU first. So if I'm through with that on time, we might talk about gold. But gold is going in our direction, so there might not be so much of things to talk about gold. If you don't know, or if you're not so sure about it, you can go to our YouTube channel. Yes, just go to the YouTube channel and type Burrows Funding. And I don't know, please, if any of our admin is here, please, you can help us drop the groups, the YouTube name, the YouTube site. You can help us, please drop it here so that some of them that wants to just check out on the past videos can be able to go there and just check out things. Okay, please, I really do not know people online now because I don't want to be distracted, but please, if I have any of my admin here on Burrows Funding, please help us drop the YouTube site here so that they can be able to check in soon or even after we are done. So that's that for that. So I might not be able to talk so much on gold now. So let me go to AU. So AU, this is AU, and of course, since we started this live analysis, we've spoken about AU for some numbers of time, but we'll be talking about it today again. And what's the basic question? If I'll be asking a question now, I know the answer will be quite easy because it's almost like a basic question. What's the question? The question is what's the trend of AUD USD? Even if I ask a very little boy of age, like, what do you see? What trend can you see on this trade, on this chart? And it might be quite nebulous for the kid, but if I just try to let him know that, okay, is it ascending or descending? I think that's a better English to ask the child. And child will be, my uncle, it's descending, of course. So it's clear that, okay, AUD is actually what has been selling, and yes, this is it, forming lower low, lower high, lower low, coming from one zone to the next zone, coming from one zone to the next zone, coming from one zone to the next zone, stalking at a zone, ranging and consolidating for a major time, and breaking down to the next zone and coming to the next zone. It's always just from one zone to another, from one zone to another zone, from one zone to another zone. That's always the circle. And so from monthly and weekly, we are convinced that what AUD is actually what's selling. And you will see from here that we have a head and shoulder pattern, broke to the downside. We saw a retest here, broke into the next zone, and came back, as another retest. It's funny at times that some of these patterns, just a retest is not always enough for them, and most times it comes at two retests. So this comes like a twin retest, and again it broke it to downside, broke that support zone, and came back again for a retest. Came to downside, came again for another retest. I was just speaking about that, almost like a twin. Sorry about that, please. Almost like a twin retest, and again, so that looked like a first impulse movement to the downside, and this is like a second. And on the stock, stayed and consolidated for a number of months and a number of days around this area. And of course, it was actually going to give it a touch on the trend line, and that's like a tall touch. And since then, it has been selling. So let me go to the daily. So with that, it's clear that what AUD has been selling. So since the tall touch, you would see, I kept a box here. And you see that for the numbers I showed us, I think it's in the last 2 weeks or so, for the numbers of days and weeks for how AUD has been inside this box and has been ranging. And I think this is just between 80 to 100 pips. You can imagine AUD being ranged and boxed for numbers of months, like 2 months or so, and been ranging between 80 to 100 pips. So today it's selling, tomorrow it's buying. Today it's selling, tomorrow it's buying. Today it's selling, and tomorrow it's buying. And on this third touch, we've seen it, okay, clearly what's selling. Now it's came to came inside again into the box. We tested it, came down to the base of the box, also break to the downside. We tested it, and now what the currency pairs does most time is that it repeats things. We call it price action because it repeats rather. It repeats, price patterns, it repeats some patterns, it repeats some things. And I was talking about one, not quite long now. How you will see you will see a pattern and you will see it break and you will see a retest the first time. And if after some while you see another retest. And after retesting again, selling, you would see another pattern you see another thing replicating that kind of movement again. And when it's like, you'll be like, oh, this is it. This is it. So if you notice this guy, you see how this guy, consolidated, came down, looked like wanted to sell, went again, broke to the upside like wanted to buy, came again into the box, doing all these things and throwing all stunt around. So what I would just advise on AUDS is that, okay, just, you have to take it cool with AUDS. The AUDS is not showing any sign of or seriousness as it is presently. I don't want anybody to be caged into the box because you would not imagine that today you are buying and it's selling, or you are, you want to have a clear trend, you want to really, really know how things go. So what I would just advise is that you have to take it chill with AUD/USD. But yes, I'm going to talk about something. But before I do that, quickly see to this. So I want to draw this counter trend line and help us. Okay, I want to draw this counter trend line and help us see things as it is. So I expect before you come back into the zone, or if not even into the zone, into this base, that's the 100% retracement. I expect it to break, properly. I expect you to break this counter trend line properly, either on the 4 hours or whatsoever, either on the 4 hours or whatsoever. I expect it to break this counter trend line properly. And let me come to the daily now. So I expect that AUD/USD, if you can close by 2 candles below this the base of this range, closes by 2 candle, and of course closing by that will also mean closing below the counter trend line. Then I can be quite interested. But the most interesting thing for me on this pair would be like closing below and coming back for a retest. That would be the most interesting and the most conservative entry on AUD/USD. So that's it for that. So for as long as we get to do that, I think what I would just advise everyone to do is to be patient with it. Because if you come to the 4 hours, all you will see is a pattern that looks like a buy. I'm not saying it cannot buy, and I'm not saying that it cannot sell. So don't tell me like he said it's going to sell, and you now bought from here. He bought back into that, like he bought. You can buy again into this, summit of it again, and it can even sell. So whatever it is, the only thing I'll get interested in AUDS is that it closes below this space and it closes below that counter trend line. And of course, I see a retest. I will not be most interested in just see it closing, but of course, when I see a retest, so don't be too, don't be in a haste to just see it come and not see it retest. See it come and see it retest. So that's that on what AUD/USD. So let me talk about NU. And I think talking about NU would mean that I'm talking about the 4th pair here today. Okay, I'm talking about the 4th pair here. So I just quickly want to say is that you please don't I want to put my words carefully out there. Please maximize. Okay, I think that's fine. Please maximize this opportunity. Don't take them casual. This is not common with many pro firms out there. So for bureaus to be doing it means they have the traders at heart. Okay, they have the traders at heart and want the best for the traders. Okay, so please, when you see most of these things, don't just take them for granted. Impute them, and we just want the best for you. And the forex market is so addicting to the extent that you can be doing something so wrong, and that what you are doing, the pattern, the strategy you are using, that it is not sustainable. But you just feel like this is the way I can beat the market. Why not just stick to what works? Why not just stick to stick to what is being dished out to work out for you than staying with what again you have tried and it's still yielding the same result? The FX market can make you feel like you could know that you are doing something so wrong, but it can make you feel like no, you were not smart enough. You'll be like, oh, I'll try it again this time. I'll try it again another time. Opportunities are not always coming every time. So what you might have opportunity to do, you might have the opportunity to do it tomorrow. So the ones you have at your hand, why not just maximize it and use it so well? And why not just maximize and use it well in thinking that, yes, let me just do this one in a smarter way and another will come. Okay, so I just want us to take it easy out there. And these that we are dishing out, please make use of them and maximize, and please maximize them properly. So this is NZUSD. And of course, the first place I'm going to is the monthly. And you can also see that it has been selling from zone to zone. And let's go to the weekly. Okay, so of course, yeah, we can see on the weekly, yes, how from the top, it has sold. We had break to the downside, we test, break to the downside, we test again, and how it came into the base here and consolidated around this place, came to the downside, and the way it's been consolidated, you could imagine you are stuck in probably a sell and took numbers of, because if I'm going to calculate this is nothing less than, it should not be nothing less than 16 weeks. It's not been less than that's nothing less than almost 4 months. So you can imagine you have the stock here, it's doing this today, it's doing this tomorrow. But one thing you will see that has been so clear is that immediately it came into this touch of this trend line and engulfed it to the downside. You will see that bearish engulfing can engulf it to the downside. You see that it has been moving swiftly to the downside. Now, what is it doing presently? It's replicating a range. Now, this range, this is the big one. Now it's doing a smaller one here. Okay, it's replicating that range. So, but for how long will it be? What we are seeing here is almost looking like what we saw on what AUD. So impulse movement, for every major impulsive movement, we always see a consolidation or a rest. So this is the rest period of what? Okay, this is the rest period of NZUSD. I don't know how long it's going to rest, but we are going to be only interested, in it coming outside of this outside of this box, and break to the downside. But yes, unlike AUD that was not giving us, a similar trade entry, I would say that NZUS is giving us, because why? It's presently at the top of the range, and what I am very sure about is, as long as I know that NZUS is actually on a downtrend, I know that it's not going to stay there for forever. So it's definitely coming back to to the downside. It's coming back to the base of this of this box, of this range. So AUD might not be giving us a trade entry for the fact that we know it's in a box and it's also actually selling, but NZUS is giving us, of course, for the fact that it's also in a box and it's also selling. So how is it that if you see a pattern, if you see it coming back into this place, maybe gives us like a what's it called, a double top to the upside, and you see a pattern engulf it properly to the downside, I'm going to tell you that I can take it down to the base of this range. Yes, and of course you can also go to the 15 minutes. I think I saw something beautiful on the 15 minutes. Yes, okay, I saw a pattern exactly on here, and you will see this M pattern here. So I would advise that if you do not see that, if you do not see what's it called, that M pattern, of course, on the 4 hours, you can wait for a retest in this area. You can wait for a retest. If you see it coming, if you see it pushing to this area and you see it engulf, please wait for it to engulf. If you see it pushing to this area and see it engulf, I said this about oil last week Thursday, and he later did it. So you have to have patience. If you see it engulfing back into this area and retest it back to that, you can take it all from here to the downside. So that's that for NZD USD. Okay, we started the meeting. We started 1 p.m. on dot, but I think people joined in quite late, so we started 1:05 rather. So the meeting was supposed to end by 1:35. But before that, let me just quickly show you something light on gold. Let me just quickly show you something on gold, and that will be all for today. All for today. But before I go to gold, let me quickly see the numbers of people I have that are following me in the charts. I need to give shout out to everyone, because you all are the real champions and the real MVP. Shout out to you, Mr. Shizu. I presume I'm correct the name. Mr. Moore, Mr. Magic Mouse. Okay, Mr. Leo, Mr. Taiwo, Mr. Luke, Mr. Austin. Special shout out to every one of you. It's always beautiful to have every one of you around. Yeah, some people even come back to back. Some people come back to back again. Apart from the admins, like someone like Mr. Luke and Austin, these men are always here with us. I think some of the names I'm quite, very relevant here with is Mr. Iwo, yes, Mr. Leo, Mr. No, yes. Mr. Magic Maz, I want to see you again around on Thursday. Mr. Shizu too. It's going to be beautiful. having you around all the time. So thank you everybody for coming around. But before you go, we've been able to talk about one or two things, and of course, you don't want to miss this again on Thursday, because you'll be able to take one or two things away. But before you go, let me quickly talk about gold. Okay, let me just quickly talk about gold. Okay. So gold. What do I expect on gold? Of course, you all know gold is a sell, and we called it out from here. It broke to the downside, and of course we tested it. I think it's a good time to delete this one. You can delete it presently. So gold, we tested it, and gold came back into the area to just give a retest on the what on I told us what happened here. We saw a first retest and we saw a second retest, and also it happened here. This was the first one, and this again came again for a twin retest. So on that, going to the 4 hours, we are clear that gold is what selling. So how do you get into the market? Of course, okay. How do you get into the market? A close, yes. Okay, you can see the market is selling so well. So gold is selling. How do we get into the market? A close below this this area, or if it does not close, because of course this trend line I draw is a counter trend line, and how markets could be funny, how candles could be funny. Don't over anticipate this market and get into it until the close of this candle. You have to see this candle close, and this candle is not going to close until the next 1 hour and 22 minutes, if I'm not wrong. 1 hour and 22 minutes away. So it might close. If it close down and it close to wall, yes, gold is selling, and okay, you could get into it. But the most the most of the entry that I would be like is, I would like to see gold comes, gold has broken this gold has broken this base to the downside. I would like gold to come and give a touch here as a retest, a touch here as a retest, and see then go to the downside. Okay, to the downside. I would like to see that, not necessarily on the 4 hours, but probably on the 15 minutes. I checked the 15 minutes, but I didn't see something like that. So I expect that it comes into this box, into that base, and actually, touch it and retest it, and you could just keep selling all to the downside. And don't forget, the overall target for gold is 1888, and where it is presently, it's numbers of pips away that can give you a handful of things to make use of for your both funded accounts and even for your challenge account. So with that, I think we can come. Oh, okay, Mr. Leo. Thank you so much, sir. He said GBP USD. Okay, let me talk about that too. Okay, I think what was not interesting me on GBP USD is the fact that it's not giving a clear trend. Okay, but I'm going to talk about it regardless. Thank you so much for reminding me. What I would just say on, let me just say this, Mr. Leo. What I would just say on GBP USD, can you just wait till the market close this weekend? It's forming something so beautiful on the monthly candle. I'm showing the monthly candle to see how big and impulsive it is. Forming so big. So of course, what it's forming here, it's a retest. It's a retest within. Okay, yes, it is a retest. It is a retest within this base. Within this base, and you would see that it's been moving. Okay, let me minimize it a bit. Okay, see it from this top. Look at how it's been selling from zone to zone. Yes, sold to the next zone, sold to the next zone, sold, and actually consolidated. So now we have the major consolidation from when? From 16th of from 2016 May 2016 till presently. So it's been consolidating, and it broke to the downside, coming as a retest. Now, what I expect GBP USD to do is that if it even wants to give any part, because it's not giving any vibe or any pattern of buying presently. So I'm still going to say that yes, it is a sell. And let me even check this on the Fibonacci. Let me check this on the Fibonacci. I'm not giving entry. Okay, wow. So you see that presently, I think this is so beautiful. This is perfect. This is beautiful. So it is presently at the 50. Mr. Ali, I don't know. Are you seeing what I'm saying? It is presently at the 50 to the 61 fib area. So now, if it does a bearish reversal pattern to the downside, because as it is in the 50 to the 61 fib area, and we are expecting a bearish engulfing candle to the downside, and it is forming a big one. It is forming a big one. So if the monthly candle closes as it is, I'm telling you with all honesty that for the next month that GBP USD is going to be it's going to be selling. It's going to be selling. You can see that it broke it to the downside, but went again into the Yes, went again into the inner circle, just like going back into the inner circle to do what? A retest, and make sure that it is touching, and, trending around the 50 to the 61 fib area. And if you even go to the smaller time frame, I don't know, but I can be quite sure that if you go to the smaller time frame, let me delete this, but don't forget that as I delete this, it is still presently at the 50 to the 61 fib area. So if you go to the smaller time frame, you will see like a pattern. Okay, so you would see like a pattern. Of course, this pattern is not too clear. It looks like it's doing a zigzag thing, but the whole of what GBP USD is doing here is just to tell you that, okay, yes, it came back to from this base, it came back to the 50 to the 61 fib area, and what I've been saying. And look at even the counter trend line I actually draw it here. Look at it as how it has broke to the downside and what we tested. So I would say that just let us wait till the month end to see how it unfolds on GBP USD. Of course, it is a sell. It is a sell. But if it gives us a very good one, we should be catch nothing less than 1,000 pips away from GBP USD. But let's just see how the monthly candle close. And again, we can see what will happen on GBP USD. So that's that for today. And thank you all for joining. Thank you all for joining. I presume that one way or the other, you all have been able to, catch up, and you'll have been able to learn or see into one or the other things. Okay. And it's all beautiful to have everyone around here with us. And Mr. Magic Mars, yes, you said something. I'm coming back to it now. Is this WS song? This song? Maybe calm down. I don't know about that song. I don't know about that song. You got me laughing, but I don't know about that song. But it's all fine. It's beautiful to have you around, and it's beautiful to have everybody. Thank you so much. So on Thursday, join us on time and make sure that you come in with your friend, come in with somebody can benefit from this. And all appreciation and gratitude to Burroughs Funding for funding many traders out there and sincerely looking out for them, and also for sponsoring and giving us this platform. It is so beautiful. So thank you all. Catch you again, hope another time, another day. Same place. Be good and have a blessed day. Bye.